Alright, so this one's definitely an embarrassing one. Leave a like for my pain, and let's jump into this. So today's story time is about the time that my entire school, yes, my entire high school, watched one of my videos. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you about how it happened. So today's story time all takes place in 2016. Now at this point, I dropped out of school. Well, not officially yet, but I pretty much was in the process of doing that. And I wasn't in school anymore, right? And I was doing YouTube full time. And a lot of people were really happy for me, and a lot of people weren't very happy for me. For example, there were teachers who openly talked shit behind my back about it and saying that I was going to fail in a year and have to come back to school, and then I would graduate when I'm 20 years old or something. And then there were the people that were super happy for me, and they thought it was super inspiring, and they told me to follow my dreams and don't give up and, keep going with it, and they believed in me, right? So anyway, I had this teacher, right? Let's just call her Mrs. Bennett, okay? Mrs. Bennett believed in me. She was always super supportive of me. She knew about my YouTube channel from the day I started it, and she was always super non-judgmental when it came to my YouTube channel, right? And when I told her I was quitting school to pursue YouTube full time, she didn't question me. She didn't say anything negative about it. She was like, "Oh, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Keep at it. Don't give up." And she was just very, very nice about it, right? Well, in 2016, after I dropped out, I was like, you know what? I want to go back and I want to visit Mrs. Bennett one last time, show her how well the YouTube channel is doing, catch up with her, have one last conversation, and just see how she's doing, right? So yeah, it had been a year since I've seen her. Figured it was time to go visit. So I get up out of bed one morning, I take a shower, I drive over to my old school, I walk in, I tell them I want to visit Mrs. Bennett. They're like, cool, yeah. Do you know where she is? I was like, yeah, is she in the same classroom as last year? They're like, yeah. So they give me a visitor pass, I head on down to her classroom, and I walk up to her door. Now I knock on the door, she doesn't answer. I knock on the door again, I peek through the window, the lights are off. So at this point I'm like, oh, okay, she's not here. So I go upstairs, I go up to the main office, I ask one of the people there, I was like, hey, where's Mrs. Bennett? Her classroom's dark, the lights are off, I don't think she's there. And they're like, oh, we completely forgot. She's actually hosting an assembly in the gym right now. And I'm like, okay, cool. So at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go see Mrs. Bennett give an assembly and speak to the whole school. Hell yeah. So I walk over to the gym. The whole high school's in there. They're watching Mrs. Bennett speak. And she's giving a whole speech about following your dreams. This is just the type of lady she was. She told everyone to follow their dreams. And she's telling people that they can be whatever they want. She's telling stories about how she wanted to be a teacher and no one wanted her to be, but she did it anyway. And how that's how everyone's mindset should be. She was also explaining that it's a great idea to try two things at once. For example, pursuing a really, really hard career, an independent career, such as entertainment or music, but then on the side, still going to college, still getting your degree, or still doing, a really safe job to provide income while you pursue your dream job, which is great advice. I still tell people that to this day because I didn't do that and I got really lucky, but it's a really smart idea to, be doing two things at once if you can handle it. Anyway, I walk into the gym, I sit down, I'm watching her speech, super inspiring shit as usual. She's a legend. And then she sees me in the audience mid-speech, and she points to me and goes, Austin? On the microphone. And the whole fucking school looks at me. And I'm like, hey, Mrs. Bennett. And she's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm here to visit you. She's like, oh my God, I love you. All right, everyone, we have a special guest here in the audience today. And honestly, it just adds to my speech even more. This student right here, or former student, his name's Austin. And she says my last name. And she's like, he went and followed his dreams, just like a lot of my students have, and he succeeded greatly, right? Luna, and she winks at me, and a bunch of kids look at me, right? Because they know the name Luna from YouTube. And she proceeds to start pulling my fucking YouTube channel up on the giant screen, on the smart board in front of the gym where the whole school can see. And she's going through my videos and my thumbnails, which are not very PG, by the way. And she's like, see, even though some of these videos are a little bit raunchy, he knows what he's doing and he's made a really great career for himself. Many students in this school didn't believe in him. Many teachers didn't either, but I always did. And look what Austin has become. I think we all could learn a great lesson from Austin today. Do what you love and love what you do. And as much as I was flattered, I was also so embarrassed because the whole fucking school knew who I was at this point and were all staring at me and just making a whole moment out of it, right? Yeah, I was completely 50-50 at this point. 50% of me was so embarrassed, and the other 50% of me was like, dude, I feel so happy right now. My teacher is such a fucking good human being. She's hyping me up in front of the whole school, and she's making me look like a fucking genius or something. I love this lady. Oh, but don't worry, it gets better. She pulls up a video and starts playing it in front of the entire school. And she doesn't just put up any video. She puts up one of my most popular weed smoking story times. and is like showing the whole school a story time about smoking weed that I told a long time ago. And like I have videos that aren't, like rated R, right? Like I have videos that are very much fine for someone that's young to listen to. Now, not all of my videos are like that. There's definitely a good majority of them that aren't like that. But there's a few that are very much safe, for like someone that's younger to listen to and watch and get entertainment from. But she picks one of the most like non-PG videos on my channel about smoking weed, and the whole school's watching it, they're laughing, and she pauses it like halfway through, right? And I am just red in the face at this point. And she goes, "All right, Austin, I'm sorry for embarrassing you, but yeah, we can all learn something here from Austin and his YouTube channel. Yeah, there may be some videos on here that aren't very school appropriate, but if you watch to the end, you'll realize something." And she skips to the end and shows the last part of the video where I say moral of the story is, and I say like what not to do. And she's like, "See, he takes something negative and he turns it into a positive. And he teaches young people with his own bad experiences to not repeat those experiences in their own life. He's teaching them to be better and not make his mistakes." Once again, very embarrassed that the whole school had to watch my video, but also super flattering, right? Like, she's just hyping me up. Anyway, she finishes off the assembly. A bunch of students come up to me after the assembly and wanted me to sign their stuff and take photos with them, which I did, of course, because that's awesome. I ended up meeting like 20 people that knew who I was from YouTube, so that was awesome. I took photos with people, signed folders and shit. That was sweet. And then I ended up meeting up with Mrs. Bennett after that, and I spoke with her for a little bit. I thanked her for all the kind words, and she was like, "Hey, don't thank me. But seriously, I know that was probably embarrassing for you, but you really taught a good lesson today, and I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "Mrs. Bennett, the world doesn't deserve you." And yeah, I told her all about what I've been up to for the last year. I showed her some of the progress I made, some of the plans I had. She was telling me about her life. We caught up for quite a bit. And she was just super, super nice and hasn't changed since the day I walked into her classroom for the first time. And yeah, needless to say, me and Mrs. Bennett are still in touch to this day because she's the best teacher in the fucking world. Love that lady. But yeah, guys, moral of the story is more people need to be like Miss Bennett. But also, my videos definitely aren't the most school appropriate, so don't go showing them on a class assembly. If you're going to show one of my videos, show one of the more PG ones. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story time. That's the story of how my school, my entire school, watched my videos in front of me on a big screen at a school assembly. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. And also, please hit that notification. I just punched my desk. Fucking ow. And please hit that notification bell and turn on notifications because I upload every day. Anyway, guys, see you all tomorrow. Peace out.
Won't try suicide. I just went and moved to LA. My soul sacrificed. You just betray me and keep going with the lie.